When we experience obstacles in our lives, it defines us. It can define you as a quitter, or it can define you as someone who overcomes. If we don't share our testimony, then we've just experienced all those hardships for nothing. But when we tell our story, it gives hope to other people that are facing the same things. And it also gives us hope the next time we're experiencing an obstacle. It allows us to see and to remember what God did for us before. It gives us hope that He will bring us through again. Day 2 on the 50-state tour, we were sitting just south of Washington, D.C. We were doing school with the kids in a McDonald's parking lot. And all of a sudden, the generator shuts off on us. And I thought, it's not a big deal. I'll take care of it later. And so we started down the road, and we made it 5 miles, and the RV shuts off. And so here I am on I-95 south, just south of Washington, D.C. And I'm trying to get across 2 lanes of traffic to get to the shoulder. Worst place it could have happened. And there we are stranded along the side of the road. After a couple hours of troubleshooting, I called the insurance company trying to get a tow, and the insurance company called around. They couldn't find anybody with a record big enough to come and get us. They couldn't find anybody that could work on the RV. And on top of that, we had 6 people in the coach, and so we needed a taxi. It was going to be 8 o'clock the next morning until they could get there and tow us. And here we were just stranded. Our furnace and our lights were running off of the RV batteries, and it was getting cold and dark, and our batteries were going dead. It was just a bad situation, and we couldn't get out of this situation, no matter how hard we tried. Finally, the state police got involved, and within an hour, they had a tow truck there. Woke up the next morning, went into the garage, and talked to those guys in there. Come to find out that they don't work on our kind of vehicle, even though it said so in their business name. It was going to be 4 days till they could even get it into their garage to look at it. And so here we are stranded. We didn't have money for another night in a hotel. Didn't have money for repairs because we spent money on the tow truck bill because my insurance couldn't make it happen. And we're just stranded. We're 3 hours from home on a 50-state tour, and we're stranded. We can't even get home. So as we're stranded there, I'm thinking, man, this is just an impossible situation. We're going to have to cancel the tour. There's no way that we can make this work. No possible way. We just don't have the resources to do it. The other thought that was going through my head is, man, if we can somehow overcome this, it's going to make for an incredible testimony. And so I'm sitting there, and I'm praying, and I'm just saying, God, you've called us to do this. And I can't make this happen right now. This looks like an impossible situation. There's no way that we can make this work. You need to prove to us right now that we can trust you. If this happens 3 hours from home and we're stranded and we can't make things work here, how are we going to trust you if we're in Alaska or if we're in the middle of the desert and we're hundreds of miles from anything and we're stranded? If we can't trust you now, how are we going to trust you there? I'm not a mechanic, but God's given me an ability to look at a situation and figure out what is wrong and make it work again. So suddenly, I had an idea. I got my saw out from the basement compartment, and I cut an access panel in the floor of the RV, and I was able to get the pump out. We went to the auto parts store, got the pump, came back. It was the wrong pump. So we went back to the auto parts store, ordered the right pump, and it came in the next day. We went back and picked it up, came back, put that pump in, and it still didn't work. This is Saturday by now. We spent all day diagnosing the problem and trying to figure out what is going on here. And Jade says to me, I think you should check around the fuel filter. I think it's something having to do with the fuel filter. And I was just like, no, listen. It's not the fuel filter. It's less than 5,000 miles old, and it's not the fuel filter. But I had an extra one with me, so I figured, it'll take me 10 minutes to put on. I'll do it just to make my wife happy. And so I'm under there putting this fuel filter on, and right directly next to this fuel filter is a second fuel pump. And so we went to the auto parts store again for the 5th time, got the right fuel pump, came back, put it on, and started right up. 7:30 on Saturday evening, we were on the road again, leaving Virginia on our way to Surfside Beach, South Carolina. We made it to the service the next morning with 15 minutes to spare. When he brought the Israelites out of Egypt, right away he brought them to the Red Sea. And it was an impossible situation. But God made a way. He opened up the sea so the Israelites could walk through on dry ground. It was an impossible situation. But God brought them to that right away so that he could show them that he could be trusted.
Hold on, 'cause there's nothing that he can't do if you just hold